Hey everybody, it's MommaOG. I am back with another reaction. Today I have another song from the project Inpatient by Ren and Chris Webby. This song is called Caskets. This just came out yesterday, 22 hours ago. So I'm getting the jump on this one compared to how I don't get to these for a few days, it seems. Now, the last one I did, Neurodivergent, it kind of affected me in a way that I didn't expect. I did a lot of talking. I divulged a shit ton of personal information that I never imagined that I would talk about so openly, but I feel like the song called for it. The situation called for it. And as I mentioned, my goal on this channel is just to be myself, to be authentic. And in order to do that, I have to be a little vulnerable sometimes. I always worry about talking too much because I am very good at that. It's the same with writing stuff. I can write some novels. I am getting a lot of you saying, don't worry about that. All of us understand it. You know, Ren and Chris Webby go through stuff like this. We're all kind of on the same page here. So that is incredibly comforting to hear. I'm hoping that this is not about death, hence the title of Caskets. I'm not sure what to expect with this. Before we get started, I cannot keep up with suggestions and comments any longer. It's getting way too overwhelming. So if there is something you would like me to react to, you can click on a donation link down in the description, send along the information of the song you'd like me to hear, and I will get it recorded as soon as possible. I also take notes during my reaction, so you may see me looking down a few times throughout. I'm just writing down a couple of things so that I remember what I want to talk about. I've got my earbuds in. I'm going to take a deep breath. Let's take a listen.
If I don't wake tomorrow morning, empty shoes on the side of the hall, and if my number stops calling, picture frames hanging up by the door. You try to reach right in and hold on to the little things, but they slip away. But it's okay, 'cause I had a hell of a time. Know that I had the time of my life. So remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So
It does seem about death so far. I'm going to rewind it and start it over. Just this image of an older man looking at a picture of him, I'm assuming who is a younger version of him, with the woman that he proposed to. Maybe she's gone. And Ren just describing, if my number is called tomorrow, I know you're going to try to hold on to the little things to remember me by, but they slip away, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's start it over again.
if I don't wake tomorrow morning, empty shoes on the side of the hall, and if my number stops calling, picture frames hanging up by the door. You try to reach right in and hold on to the little things, but they slip away. But it's okay, 'cause I had a hell of a time. Know that I had the time of my life.
It's so bittersweet.
So remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the casket's closed. And if you get that sinking feeling, thinking about the time we shared, I hope it helps you with your healing. knowing that I wasn't scared. I savored everything. I pressed the world up against my skin. I was lucky, I guess. I always found the beauty in the mess. You gotta hold on to the little things, but you gotta let go just a little bit. When another one goes, one will find their wings. Then they'll find their...
God, I don't know if I can take this. I don't know. I was thinking maybe this Caskets title would be a little more metaphoric, but it's really kind of literal in these lyrics. And I can't remember which reaction it was, but I recorded it recently that, you know, about my dad dying and, you know, how me and my 3 other siblings were handling the grief in different ways. Me, as the person who was with him when he died, lived with him the last 16 years of his life. The grief is immense. There's constant reminders in this home that we shared, and yet my sister is handling it a little bit harder, having a harder time with it. And I feel like I have to suppress my own grief to be strong for her. Yeah, I just had this conversation in a reaction I just recorded. So I'm sorry. I'm going to rewind it quite a bit. And let's just keep going. I'm going to try to make it through without pausing it anymore. I've already taken some notes, but...
And if you get that sinking feeling, thinking about the time we shared, I hope it helps you with your healing. Knowing that I wasn't scared, I savored everything. I pressed the world up against my skin. I was lucky, I guess. I always found the beauty in the mess. You gotta hold on to the little things, but you gotta let go just a little bit. When another one goes, one will find their wings. Then they'll find their way home, little take and give. Into the unknown and the changing tides. The sun sets low on an endless sky. So much we don't know, I don't know why, but I'll be fine, 'cause I had a hell of a time. Know that I had the time of my life. So remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the casket's closed. Raise a toast as the curtains close and the sunset fades to black. So the story goes, we all walk with ghosts, no one-way tickets back. The casualties of our memories that slip right through the cracks. All the inside jokes and the times we spoke will stay frozen in the past. You gotta hold on to the little things, but you gotta let go just a little bit. I guess we'll never know what tomorrow brings, but just know you're not alone in the thick of it. I know it feels cold when the casket's closed. Stories untold on a headstone. For those who grow old, it'll fly by in the blink of an eye. So we'll have a hell of a time. Know that we'll have the time of our lives. So remember us and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the casket's closed. We'll have a hell of a time. Know that we'll have the time of our lives. We'll have the time of our lives.
Sorry I didn't blow this back up. My dad. He's a veteran. Vietnam War veteran. Shit.
One-way road, so it goes until the caskets close. We'll have a hell of a time. Know that we'll have the time of our lives.
Even the animals.
So remember us and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw this song title and first thing popped in my head was, uh-oh. Along with all the things I spoke about in the neurodivergent reaction, death is another thing that plagues me. The fear of death and the fear of losing the people I love the most. You know, the trauma that caused all of my issues for the last 30 years was directly related to my own close calls with death. And I misspoke in that video. I had said that in a 2.5, 3 year period of time, I experienced 3 different close calls with death, but it wasn't actually that long. The first was March 1st, 1997, 4 months pregnant with my daughter, moving cross country with everything I owned, my sister and my cats. My car towed behind us, and we got caught in a tornado in the middle of Tennessee. And now, you know, I have PTSD from that. When the wind blows, I get anxious. The second incident was a year later in March of 1998. The whole reason I was moving cross country, I was moving from Virginia to Arkansas to stay with my sister. I was escaping an abusive relationship with the father of the child I was pregnant with. Arkansas wasn't the environment for me. I just did not fit in down there. So, long story short, eventually got back together with her father, who came down to see us and talked me into coming back up to Virginia, which I did in January of 98. And then in March of 98, he almost killed me while my little baby girl, 7 months old, was laying upstairs asleep. And then the same year, 1998, in November, on Thanksgiving Day, it happened again. But this time I was holding her, and he came after me, same way he did that March. And I thought I was going to die. And the one thing that I'll never forget from that incident was her screaming. And the look on her face, watching him do this to me. And just the scream she let out. Thankfully, she was just over a year old. She doesn't remember it specifically. She knows about it. But yeah, those 3 specific things completely biologically changed my brain. And death has been something that plagues me ever since. There's not a day that goes by when I lay my head down at night that I hope I wake up in the morning. And when I do wake up in the morning, I'm thankful for it. Here I go again, divulging shit that I never imagined I would put out to the world. I made a lot of notes for this song. I'm so terribly sorry for going off on that personal tangent, but this is hitting me right here for many reasons, not just that, but losing my dad 2 years ago completely fucked me up, as I said. And then I also, this death thing that I have, I fear losing people that I do have in my life now that I love more than anything on the planet. That even extends to my animals. I just lost one of my parrots in February. The first parrot I ever rescued. 22 years I had him in my life. And, a month after I lost my dad, I had my 19-year-old cat. I had to put him to sleep. I had to play God, and it's something that I can't do anything about. So it just freaks me out. Okay. That was obviously emotionally heavy. The lyrics seem to reflect on death, grief, and mortality, and how people cope with that. Cope with losing loved ones. It kind of approached it with an acceptance and a lot of gratitude. I had the best time of my life. I want you to know that. And gave the message of celebrating life while you have it. So there was this underlying tone of loss and grief and coping mechanisms for that. There was also an underlying tone of accepting it and celebrating or encouraging somebody to accept it and just keep with them the little things, but also to kind of let go of the little things that kind of bring you down about losing somebody, which is very hard to do. Caskets was indeed literal in the lyrics, as I was afraid it would be. But the emotional focus was on memories and healing and connections. The song was just a juxtaposition of death. Two sides of it. Incredibly bittersweet. There was incredible sadness and grief in the lyrics, but there was also a warmth and a comfort of having lived a full life and having enjoyed themselves. Also, hints of someone passing, having left little pieces of them inside of you, which helps carry their memory. That absolutely applies for my dad. He left behind some incredible memories, and I am his daughter, so there's pieces of him in me, things that I do and say that just remind me of him. And in that way, he lives on through me and through those memories. I was trying to control my tears, but, the way Ren was singing and even Chris, the things they were saying reminded me of what I know my dad would be saying if he could communicate directly with me and my siblings. And it just punched me in the face that it could have been my dad saying these things to me. And then I also had thoughts of my fear of, losing Mike, or if, God forbid, something happens to my daughter or my grandkids. So, that's a big part of my death plague, as I call it, is the fear of things that haven't happened that could. My mom and my stepdad are turning 80 this year, and, it's inevitable. And it's just damn near impossible for me to think about when that happens, let alone when it does happen. I don't know if a lot of people sit around like I do and obsessively think about losing people that are still here. But my dad's death 2 years ago seems to have amplified that drastically. just thinking about the inevitable. I'm going to go ahead and go over these lyrics before I just become a blubbering mess even more than I already am. I think, yeah, these lyrics are in his pinned comment. So I'm going to go through these lyrics. Hope I can get through them. If I don't wake tomorrow morning, empty shoes on the side of the hall. If my number, it stops calling, picture frames hanging up by the door. I can apply that too. I have pictures of my dad flashing on our Alexa. I have pictures of him on our shelf below our TV where I have his remains and his veteran flag and his favorite veteran hat, which he used to call his sympathy hat. He used to get like discount Dunkin' Donuts when he would wear his hat. I almost have this image of him just smacking me upside the back of the head right now, telling me to stop. It's just hard because I do suppress my grief a lot just to be strong for my sister and not to upset Mike. Mike got extremely close with my dad as well. And yeah, I just do it to guard other people's feelings. And so when the opportunity comes for me to be able to express it without worrying about others around me, I just feel like I want to get in a fetal position right now. And I feel dumb being this vulnerable on this video. Okay. You try to reach in and hold on to the little things, but they slip away, but it's okay. And then this is the part where it starts to get a little more comforting and, and accepting of death. And it reminds me of my dad, because these are all things that he would say, because I had a hell of a time. Know that I had the time of my life, so remember me and smile. And that's the thing I would hear in my head when I imagine him hitting me upside the back of the head and telling me to stop being upset. He had a good life. He had his moments, his challenges. He was lucky to live that long, considering some of the things he did to himself. The fact that he fought in a war. Okay. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close. And if you get that sinking feeling, thinking about the time we shared, I hope it helps you with your healing, knowing that I wasn't scared. It's another thing. I was with him when he died. He died in this house. He was sitting in his chair and he was out of breath. He'd been sick. And he just slumped over in his chair and dropped what he had in his hand. And he took 3 more breaths before I could get him on the floor. He was a big man, 6'2", 200-something pounds. But I think I saw him take his last breath before I even got him on the floor to perform CPR. I think he was gone before he hit the floor. And this line about not being scared. God, this is incredibly uncomfortable. I savored everything. I pressed the world up against my skin. I was lucky, I guess. I always found the beauty in the mess. You gotta hold on to the little things, but you gotta let go just a little bit. When another one goes, one will find their wings. Damn it. And they'll find their way home. A little take and give. Into the unknown and the changing tides, the sun sets low on an endless sky. Ugh. I've got this huge knot in my throat because I just want to wail. So much we don't know. I don't know why, but I'll be fine. Because I had a hell of a time. Know that I had the time of my life, so remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road, so it goes until the caskets close. And I believe this is where Chris Webby comes in. Raise the toast as the curtains close and the sunset fades to black. So the story goes, we all walk with ghosts. No one-way tickets back. The casualties of our memories that slip right through the cracks. All of the inside jokes and the times we spoke will stay frozen in the past. Fuck! You gotta hold on to the little things. But you gotta let go just a little bit. I guess we'll never know what tomorrow brings. But just know you're not alone in the thick of it. I know it feels cold when the casket closes. Stories untold on a headstone. For those who grow old, it'll fly by. In the blink of an eye. So we'll have a hell of a time. Know that we'll have the time of our lives. So remember us and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close. And then it just repeats that. Oh my God. I thought my last reaction to Neurodivergent was hard. This is a subject that is in my life every day that I do my very best to keep at bay. But when I get these direct reminders, it's a little hard to maintain control of my emotions. So I apologize for anybody who may be frustrated by having to watch that. I don't know why I'm apologizing for it. If you don't want to see it, you could just click off the video. Anywho, this was a tough one. But it's songs like this that hit me emotionally and help me relate directly with some of the hardest things that I go through in life that mean the most to me. So even though I've heard this song one time, I am going to be listening to it a lot in certain times. It's going to be one of those songs where I have to listen to it when I'm ready to listen to it. You know, it's not one that I could play all day long. And that's not to say that it's a bad song. It's actually a compliment because it directly and deeply affects me. Once again, thank you to Ren and Chris Webby for your vulnerability and your authenticity in your art. It in turn helps a lot of us who watch you and hear you be able to relate to other human beings, even strangers, and know that we're not alone. We don't face these things alone. Thank you all so much for once again putting up with my tangents and emotions and talking. I'm going to thank you and try not to apologize for it so much. I think a lot of you that come to this channel and watch my reactions have gotten to know me by now, I hope, anyway. Thank you all so much for sharing this with me. I will see you on the next one.